Knicks, they get themselves a nice win. NBA Cup, they're the only team in the NBA to reach the quarterfinal round of the NBA Cup all 3 years of existence. They finally break through. They get to the semifinals, 117-110 victory
Vegas
over the Toronto Raptors. They're going to go to Vegas where they will play the Orlando Magic. Second time this week, they'll play the Orlando Magic. Fourth time this season, they will play the Orlando Magic.
When is this game in Vegas? What day?
This will be Saturday. 5:30.
Nice.
Saturday at 5:30. Nice early tip. I'm here for that. I love to see this. Going to be a nice early tip, so it should be good. But the Knicks, man, they did some good stuff in this game. You know, Bryan has talked a lot about their fourth quarters and how they've struggled in the fourth combo.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a game where Knicks put up
less so lately
35 points, you know, in the first quarter, 34 in the second quarter. But the second quarter was the difference in this game.
Yes.
This is where the game was won, and this is where the game was over. They outscored the Raptors 34-13. And we'll get to that. But the tone, and I think is rightfully, you got to start this game by talking about Jalen Brunson.
100%.
Right? The guy who is a top 10 player in this league, even though
we got Dexter from top 7 to top 10, so we're getting
top.
places.
I'm still saying top
I think
8.
top 10 might be more consensus.
It might be more consensus. I say top 8.
Top
I'm standing
15.
by it. I'm not going as low as top 15.
Giannis is top 3. All right, let's go.
Whatever. The man had 35 points tonight on 13 of 19 shooting.
He's a great scorer.
He was fantastic. 6 of 9 from downtown. But wherever you think you rate him, he set the tone in an elimination game. We've seen Jalen Brunson in big games. He set the tone that he was taking it seriously. He came out, he hit shot after shot.
20 in the first quarter.
20 in the first quarter. Yeah, 20-35 in the first quarter when nobody else was really scoring. And Brandon Ingram, to be fair, for Toronto, also came out 17 in the first quarter. How big did you think it was that he came out and set this tone? And do you think this is big that the Knicks, in their development, where they're trying to go this season, that they've advanced here to the semis of the NBA Cup?
Yeah, because I love the NBA Cup, and I think that it shows that they could win when the moments are bigger, because these games are obviously not like regular season games, even though they count towards their stats and stuff as regular season games. You could feel that playoff type energy, so it was good to see Jalen Brunson come up big and the Knicks come up big tonight. I think it's a big deal, and I think they have a chance to win the NBA Cup, even though it'll probably be OKC.
That was one of my hot takes.
Yeah.
That I said on the Hot Take show. I said the Knicks will cruise to the NBA Cup Finals where they'll play the Thunder and they'll beat the Thunder.
You think they'll beat the Thunder?
They're going to hand the Thunder their second loss of the season.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that? Because I think the Knicks are playing good basketball at the right time. They got healthy. They got OG Anunoby back. And sometimes you have to play a team where they're a little bit due. And I think they're on for a collision course. I think the Knicks are going to get up for that game. Maybe be a little bit more motivated than the Thunder. Do I think they're a better team than the Thunder? No. But in a single elimination game, I think it's prime for the Knicks to beat the Thunder.
So you think SGA is going to get cooked by Brunson? How about that? What do you think that? How do you feel about that matchup?
You just out here trying to be messy.
No, I'm not asking you. Like, how do you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, I think Brunson's going to come big time.
Who's Brunson guarding? Is he guarding SGA?
We'll try.
That's my question also.
We'll try.
Yeah,
that's going to be
Jalen Williams, maybe?
Who's cat guard?
Who's cat guard?
Hardenstein.
Probably.
Yeah.
If
they play him, you might see a lot of time when they
imagine Hardenstein goes clear out.
No, that'd be crazy. You might see a lot of time with him where Hardenstein's playing at the 5.
Yeah, he's been out, so don't know if he's going to be in.
All right, so
you might get both Jalen Williams.
You might get both Jalen Williams there. What did you make of what we saw from Brunson tonight?
I mean, he came out and he set the championship level tone that you would expect him to set. You would hope that the Knicks didn't need it, but they did in the beginning because the offense, I mean, it was a very back and forth affair. We said early on, like, it was kind of level. Brandon Ingram had his 17 points in the first quarter when Jalen Brunson had that 20, but he set the tone. They picked it up from there, and Toronto just didn't have enough. They being the Knicks, have done a better job of not playing with their food as much this season, and it was big for them to get a road win because, again, they've been awful on the road, worst against the spread on the road this season. Now they're just 3-7 ATS on the road this year, 4-6 straight up. So this is their 4th road win this year. And it is against a team that we expect to see in at least a play-in, but that team did not have RJ Barrett, did not have Emmanuel Quickly, so missing 2 of their best 4 players. So you get an opportunity regardless in Vegas because the Knicks just have to beat who's in front of them, and they've been doing a better job of that as of late. And Toronto's been in a tailspin. They've lost 6 of 7 or 7 of 8. It's been dramatic.
It's 7 of 8 now.
Yeah, it's 7 of 8 now, right? So it's been bad. And the Knicks took advantage of that like they're supposed to, and now they're going to play an Orlando team without Franz Wagner, but an Orlando team that got a good win against Miami. Like it was a level game. As a matter of fact, they were losing 15-2 very early on, and they clawed their way back and then almost won by double digits. So Orlando's been playing really good lately, really well lately. So we'll see. We'll see, because these two teams have already played each other multiple times this year.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing you can get to, because now the Knicks are, 17-7 on the season. They're 10 games above 500. I always like to look at teams. Okay, can you get to 5 games above, then 10 games above 500?
And I think a lot of
games
people
above
would
500.
have signed for that.
And the Knicks are 10 games above 500 through 24 games. We are right at the mark where I like to talk about the quarter mark of the season for the Knicks. So they'll play their 25th game on Saturday, and they're playing an Orlando team where they struggled in the first 2 games against them, but they beat them on Sunday, and they're looking really good. The Knicks have won 8 out of the last 9 games here. They could be if they get to the Cup Finals, it'll be 9 out of 10. They've been playing good basketball. They've been dealing with some injuries. They don't have Deuce McBride. We'll find out more about him and when he's coming back and all that good stuff.
That's true. Yep.
But is there anything that has you feeling good about this Knicks team? I asked Bryan this the other day when he was on the show about what he liked about the way they were playing right now. But what combo has you feeling good about this Knicks team in the way they look, winning 8 out of their last 9 games?
I mean, Josh Hart has been great over this series of wins, the way he's pushing pace, making the 3. I mean, he's shooting the ball better than Brunson and Cat this season, which is kind of remarkable.
Yeah,
do I think it's sustainable from a shooting standpoint? Maybe not. But from a player standpoint, he's always really impactful and one of the better role players in the NBA. And then it's good to see OG back healthy and Mikal playing at what I told you would be an all-star level this season. Let's see if it happens. I don't know if the numbers are quite high enough, but yeah, it's been impressive. They've been playing really well, and we'll see what develops.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do, because I just really I think the offensive process is one thing, and we'll have like a little film breakdown for the guys coming soon. I thought the offensive process was one thing I'm liking to see, but I think the thing that's going to stand out to me is what they did defensively in that second quarter. Again, I think everything has to be put in context. This is a Toronto team that did not have RJ Barrett, did not have Emmanuel quickly. That has to be put in context. But I've seen it in the last couple of games. The Orlando game on Sunday, this game here today. These are teams that play a little physical. Toronto could be a little scrappy, and you saw it early on in this game. The Knicks are starting to answer that. I wonder if they're starting to build some sort of their toughness identity with this. And I guess that brings me to where I want to go, Bryan, is are we starting to see the identity of this Knicks team?
I think Orlando is going to be a better test for that because of the physicality that they can typically play. Orlando's really physical. Jalen Suggs is playing big minutes now. Paolo Banchero's back. No Franz Wagner, but still, you know that Orlando has gotten to their identity now. Like, they played a lot better lately after a slow start out the gate this season. I do wonder, like, as the season progresses, like how they sort of deal, they being the Knicks, how they deal with this physicality that's going to come from different teams, and how they deal with it when the team has more talent or is healthier or whatever the case may be. They're going to be favorites, I think. I'll look for the line in a sec, but they're going to be favorites for this game against Orlando, I would think, especially with Franz back. And I think even if Franz was there, they'd probably be favorites slightly. So if we are staring a Knicks OKC matchup in the face on Tuesday, not to get ahead of ourselves, that's going to be the ultimate test. Whether or not Isaiah Hartenstein is there, because we know that OKC just went on the tear even without their second best player in Jalen Williams. So don't want to jump ahead too far. But that game against Orlando is big, not even just for the Cup, but just from the standpoint of it's a game that everyone's going to be watching because it's isolated. You know what I mean? It's in the semifinals. And also it's a rival. It's a team who is a rival in the Eastern Conference now, who's trying to be a peer, who's trying to graduate to the next level. And they're looking at the Knicks because this is a team that they're going to see maybe in the playoff series. Like, this could be the 2-3, or this could be the 1-4, 1-5, or something like that in the second round, or maybe even the conference finals if Orlando really figures it out.
I like what you said there, because you don't want to look, you still want to just look ahead. I think it matters to look at that game against Orlando. This is another good test against Orlando. This is a team that can be physical. This is a team that even fought back on Sunday and made things kind of close. What are you going into this game against Orlando? what do you think are the keys that we need to see on Saturday in order for the Knicks to come out on top with the win?
I don't know. Anthony Black killed them last time, so maybe find him as a shooter. He was never known to be a shooter coming out of college.
He's had a good year.
He's had a good year, though, yeah.
Yeah, I also do think without Franz being there, not that they should be taken lightly. They're a totally different team because he's kind of like their point forward that moves the ball a little bit quicker than Paulo. So I think that makes things more difficult for the Orlando Magic. And Paulo's just getting back right now. But, yeah, it's going to be a good test. I mean, everybody thought this team after the Desmond Bane trade was the favorites in the East, or some people thought that, them and the Knicks. So
I don't know about everybody.
a lot of people did. Like, after that Bane trade, they acted like Bane was Michael Jordan in his prime, as I said about Jalen Brunson.
He had 35, 37?
Yeah, but and then also, will OG get him back for Bane playing dodgeball on the back of his head?
That was crazy. I was there like, why didn't understand that at all.
What was that about? What was that about? Did he bug out? What was he doing?
It was weird. Like, it wasn't like he was saving it because he caught the ball. He was still inbound.
He could have easily turned around, just dribbled, and just moved on with the play.
I didn't understand what he was thinking.
OG didn't even know what was going on.
I know. That's why OG.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny because OG kind of gave him the shove because it was like, yo, I got to shove you because you threw the ball at him. But you could tell OG was almost like,
I don't want to do this.
No, because we're like, I think because he knew Bane is kind of known to be like a good dude. But he's just like, yo, what's up with you? Like,
Bane could be annoying.
Yeah,
but OG
is
also
Bane known to be a good dude. I don't know about that.
I thought so.
OG also gets into some confrontations. You know what I mean? OG doesn't get into some confrontations either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I think sometimes people look at him because he's like quiet guy. Yeah, they sleep on him. But I'm like, you're not gonna throw a ball at me. Like,
no, yeah, like he was confused. He was like, yo, I don't even know what to do. I'm just gonna shove you because I don't even know what else to do right now. I'm so confused.
Yeah, it feels like that was weird. So okay, they need to watch Anthony Black.
Yeah,
not take the opponent lightly because Franz Wagner is not playing. You're right, that's something you could do. Who do you think is better suited, Bryan, in this situation, with it being on a neutral court in Vegas? Is that it? Do you look at that as a distraction? Anything with the game being in Vegas, everybody knows you're playing for the chance to go. You know, it's Vegas. A lot of distractions in Vegas.
Who do you think which team is more distractible?
The Magic.
I don't.
Because they're younger.
Yes.
I don't know.
And also Jalen Brunson's leadership, I believe, which is a factor. I think will not have anybody doing anything.
You don't think James Harden will be a better leader in this situation in Vegas?
We're not.
James Harden in Vegas?
You missed that in hour one.
Oh my God. Okay, let me read something in the chat that I saw. Jay Chance 120 says after the Miami loss,
Jay?
Udonis Haslam again showed his Nick hate. Here we go. Saying, quote, you know where Scotty Barnes is from? They're gonna handle the Knicks. Every time Udonis bets against the Knicks, this is what happens. Well, hey man.
Did he say that for him?
I guess. If Udonis Haslam is out here, listen.
I've seen him bet on the Knicks.
How do you feel about Udonis Haslam?
I've seen him bet on the Knicks before.
I think Udonis Haslam is fine as an analyst.
He's one of the best. He's one athlete analysts.
Yeah, I think he's actually good.
He's one of the better ones.
And here's the thing: I can't be mad at Udonis Haslam. Udonis Haslam has Miami Heat in his blood. This man was a Miami Heat lifer. Okay.
He was part of that rivalry for 21 years.
He can't turn off hate for the Knicks.
That's a fact.
I can't even be mad at him.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he's going to do.
There are ex-Knicks who can't turn off.
Yeah, that's like if you had
you talk to anybody from the Heat,
John Starks.
They don't even know they're hating on the Knicks. They don't even realize it when they talk with the.
They're like, this is what we do.
Yeah, 100%.
John Starks.
You put John Starks on the set, John Starks would be like, man, they're gonna lose. Right? Like, this is what it's gonna be. Like, look, Udonis Haslam is doing what I expect Udonis Haslam to do. I don't really know what else to say about it. He's going to do what they're going to do. But, Bryan, I'll get back to this point.
Yeah.
Do you think, if you're looking ahead to this game against the Magic, which, again, I think it's another good test, maybe if you want to call it another good road test, it's not really the road. It's a neutral site.
Yeah.
Love to see how many Knicks fans are going to make the trip out.
It's away from the Garden, though. So
it's away from the Garden.
They'll have more fans than the Magic.
Are any concerns about the matchup being there? And do you think it benefits the Knicks maybe getting away from the Garden? Do you look at this as another good test away from the Garden for them that you'd like to see them step up and handle?
Yeah, because you kind of have to treat this like a playoff game, like because this is what it is. It's an NBA Cup in-season tournament. It's Champions League essentially. If you watch soccer, that's what it is.
With less history, but you're right.
Yeah. It's it's the Euro Cup. You know what I mean? Like it's not the NBA championship. It's not your domestic league championship, but it's still a championship. And it's a spotlight game that's going to be isolated. That's not going to be up against shit. Like, what's the competition for this? There's not any other NBA game on the schedule that night except for the Western Conference game at 9:00 which it's going to be maybe OKC versus the Lakers, for example. Like those are the 2 teams that are favored, so we'll use them. Yeah, it's a big game. You have to treat it like a playoff game. I think both teams will. And look, there's going to be, because of that, there's probably going to be some over-indexing on what we see after. Like, this was a big thing last year. OKC had, and even the year before, they had these big, high-profile shooting performances that were not good. Like, they would just struggle to make threes. They did it against Dallas, and it cost them a playoff series when they were in the semifinals 2 years ago. Last year in the NBA Cup, they went through this with Milwaukee, and they ended up losing because of the shooting, among other things, but the offense couldn't get activated. And then in the playoffs, some people would be like, well, I don't know, in the NBA Cup, the shooting, it wasn't really great. And then during the playoffs, like, there still were performances where the shooting wasn't great, but the defense overcame that. So it's also a one-game sample at the end of the day. But I do think there'll be some interesting things to take away from this, but I don't want to say that there's going to be too much to take away from this.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair at all. I think some other players we should highlight when we look at this game. I mean, obviously Josh Hart, who you just mentioned, when you talked about looking at this team during this run, he's been fantastic. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He's been doing a little bit of everything.
He made his first 7 straight shots. Also,
you're concerned that the shooting is not going to hold up with him, at least this level. I do think there'll be some regression to the mean. I want to say that. I do think there will.
Shooting really well.
Let me ask you this. Are you like me in thinking that it matters that he's hitting these shots now and willing to take them? Because that's been my thing with Josh Hart and watching him, is the willingness to take the open three when it's there. The fact that he's been willing to take him, I think that will bode well for him in the playoffs. Even if the shooting comes back down a little bit, you need a guy to be willing to take him, right?
No, 100%. I'd rather him take him and miss than not take him at all, for sure. And yeah, I just think the way he shoots it, what I've learned about shooting over the past few years, it's like it'll never be totally consistent because the way the energy transfer is. But I think that he's been shooting it great lately, and it's showing his confidence. And it has been great because we didn't think he was going to shoot like this after that weird finger thing he had going on. Like he had like the Michael Jordan finger.
Yeah,
that was true. Like, and that's been better. So, what's most important about Josh is the energy he brings, pushing pace. And I agree with you that he needs to actually take him even if he's missing, because, that'll cause a little more gravity even if he's missing than not shooting at all or record scratching.
Yeah, I think the other player here is like, look, people get on this guy when he's not good and when he makes him feel a certain kind of way. But Cat, he didn't have a great offensive game. He was 14 points, 4 of 11.
He had that one dunk that was crazy.
He had that one dunk that was crazy.
Yeah.
But he did have 16 boards in this game. 5 in offensive rebound. He's a plus 21.
That's on the team.
That's on the team. The chat's quiet. Nobody's coming for Cat today, right? And it's funny. I want to give him some more credit. I thought he played some solid defense in this game at times, especially on the interior. I thought he was pretty solid there. If you get this kind of game from Cat,
on the glass,
he did have 4 fouls.
On the glass.
On the glass too. Is this where you hope that he could play like this consistently, even this effort, even with the 4 fouls, and there were some silly fouls because it's Cat.
Let me ask
is
you
this what you want to see? Yeah.
Are you worried that they need that effort on the glass because Mitchell Robinson is kind of going the other way a little bit in terms of his production, not starting anymore also, so you're using him to hopefully fortify the bench, but are you concerned that they're going to need more of these big Karl-Anthony Towns rebound performances and just activity on the glass overall that could potentially take away from the effort level on defense long term, or the offense might not be there because he has to overcompensate on the glass?
Slightly concerned. I just want to see how much more of this. Like, is Mitchell Robinson going to return to form, or is he going to give you some good minutes on defense? Because what I'm seeing right now with these Mitchell Robinson minutes, Mike Brown's really, look at these minutes over the last couple of games. He's still not playing him over like 20 minutes. He's still in that 16 to 18 range.
Yeah.
No matter how good he's playing, and I think the free throw shooting is factored into it. Mitchell Robinson went to the line 8 times tonight. He hit two shots. Mitchell Robinson was a -6.
He's 20% on free throws.
Hold on.
For the season.
Mitchell Robinson is only 2 players were negative in plus minus, and we always say plus minuses and everything.
But
Gershon Yabusele and Mitchell Robinson.
But when you're -6, when your team wins by 16, that's where plus minus does a little talking.
And I think that the coach is starting to maybe wonder about him in certain spots. Now, to Bryan's point, you don't want to have to lean on Cat for these high rebound games. I think Cat doesn't get enough credit for how good of a rebounder he is, especially on the defensive glass. He's a very good rebounder, but
Yeah,
you don't want to have to lean on him that much to the point it like really starts taxing him on the glass. That's why, especially on defense, that's where I'm a little bit worried. But I got to see more. I think a lot of it is like, what happens with Mitchell Robinson? Are you going to start trusting him play another center? Is that Ariel Hawk-Porty?
no field goal attempts in
Or
16 minutes.
I'm going to say what I said in a hot take episode, and I stand by this. Might be time for the Knicks to move on from Mitchell Robinson. Might be time for them to get them trade. I think a trade, this is not going to be sexy for fans, but what if you traded him and were able to bring back like a Jose Alvarado and a Najee Marshall?
But then you take away then you take away some of your center depth, which you said earlier that you need another center on defense, right?
What I'm saying is, what if let's say this happens. What if in the next 6 weeks or so you start seeing some stuff from Ariel Hawk-Porty? You could trust him to hit a free throw. You put him out there, and you're like, okay, we like we're seeing.
Have you been seeing that from Hawk-Porty?
He played good against Orlando. I thought it was good. Wouldn't shock me. Now this is a game where
they'll probably put him back in
play.
there. Yeah. Well, they'll probably put him back in there for the Cub game since he played well against Orlando.
Yeah. Now, listen, Cat's probably going to play in that game. Cat didn't play on Sunday, but are you going to trust him more down against teams? Now Orlando's a longer, bigger, physical team. You might see some Hawk-Porty minutes, and I wouldn't be mad at it. I think, listen, the one thing I'm starting to see from Mike Brown that I like is he's willing to find out. He's willing to get the information and download and see. And I think he's downloading all this information that we're seeing with Mitchell Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mitchell Robinson, the minutes are limited. His agent doesn't want him playing high minutes. Okay. They're trying to keep it down because they want to keep him healthy. They want to get this next contract. But my big pushback on this has been, all right, your agent and your team, you want to get that next contract. We want him secured back. I'm always going to be pro player on this. But if you're not available, you can only give limited availability.
And
how
if you're
much value do you have?
20% on free throws for the season, that's
Look,
the
somebody will pay him though.
Don't have to be the Knicks.
Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be the Knicks.
It's not like he'll be out the league.
He's 5 for 25 on free throws.
That's the problem.
The season.
It's like as good as you are. Listen, this guy had 4 offensive in 16 minutes. Like the rebounding rate, especially on the offensive glass, is amazing.
Do you know how many players in
I
the
think
NBA?
you need him in the playoffs, though.
Do you know how many players?
Do you?
Okay,
I think so.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because he is a swing piece in the playoffs.
He is.
Because he is somebody who can win you a series or he can lose you a series.
Absolutely.
Because he's not.
Remember him versus Embiid a few years back? How good he was?
Listen, and he's been great against Cleveland. He was good against Boston last year. But then what happened against Indiana?
But I love that you said that. He's a swing kind of player in a series that could win and lose you the series, to your point, Brian. But it's really, really, really matchup dependent.
Yes.
It's so matchup dependent. More
teams are going to hack a Mitch in the playoffs.
Let me combo. More than any other player in the roster. We could talk about Brunson's liabilities on defense. We could talk about Cat's liability on defense. But how Mitchell Robinson plays, the variance in that is so dependent on who he's playing against. Because and this is where I kind of like about Mike Brown, because I think you're going to see Mike Brown do this in playoffs. There's going to be teams he's going to say, oh, this is a mid series. This is not a mid series. Like, last year, I think Mike Brown was coaching his team last year. Celtics, to some degree, is a mid series, but it's not if he doesn't hit free throws.
Right.
Detroit was a series that Mitch fit well going up against a Jalen Duren. You can throw him in there. He can wreak havoc. Pacers, not a mid series.
Nope.
Can't have him in there. And I think that's how Mike Brown's
will be
going to
a mid
coach
series too? If they play Orlando. So he's going to play an important role, I think, in this game because it's Wendell Carter Jr., Paolo's back, Goga Batadze. Yes. Goga also. Like there's a level of physicality there that you're going to need. So I don't know. I think the Cat
need that physicality versus the Pistons too. If they end up playing against the Pistons,
I think
with Duren.
I think the Pistons is a mid series.
Yeah,
absolute mid.
It better be, but different Jalen Duren now.
And Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
different Jalen Duren.
I also will say,
and Isaiah Stewart missed a little bit of that series.
They're also a team that if they face them, because you're very high at the Pistons, if they face them, they're gonna hack a Mitch.
Yes,
because
I think more teams will,
and I think more teams are gonna see this. You want to kill. The Knicks are good offensively. This is a top 3 offense right now in the league. You want to kill their momentum in offense.
14 offensive rebounds today.
Good coaches are going to do that.
He had 4 offensive rebounds in 60 minutes. That's what he does. He also had 4 assists. Did you know that?
Because Mitchell Robinson, what we also should talk about, I don't want to. Mitchell Robinson is great at when he gets the offensive board, getting it out to a guy, and the guys getting to the spots.
Because he is not shooting that shit.
He's not shooting, and he knows his role. My thing is, you said they need him, and I was like, do they? Because if you could go get yourself a bigger wing, slide Oriel Hugpurdy up, get yourself a backup guard, is that the money better distributed?
What OG is for the Knicks as a wing, Mitch is as a center.
I kind of agree. But I also think that's a dangerous place to be with Mitch, though. Like I've said it, he's very important to them winning a title or winning the 100%, East. But because
you're not good enough defensively without Mitch.
But because he's so important, that's worrisome.
You're not good enough with him, but without him, it's even worse.
It's like offensively, it's just what is he going to give you, right? The offensive rebounding, and that's it. And then from a defensive standpoint,
but he's a good finisher at times, right? Like
yeah, but you only want him to finish or grab an offensive rebound.
Yeah, but he
shot 0 times in 16 minutes again. But I think
Is he hurt or something?
Here's a take for you. I think Mike Brown's slowly phasing him out because I think he wants a center he can trust.
I agree.
I think he wants somebody where I don't have to babysit this like this.
I agree.
Where someone who they can go up with the ball, get fouled, and I'm like, okay, they make at least 60% of
which is why I think he's a great candidate for a trade. I hear your point, Combo, on the value, but it's why I think he's a great value for the trade. Just wanna
some news.
Somebody just texted me. It was something that might ruin my night. But
was it Pete Alonso?
No, it wasn't that. But
it
was that the Dodgers are now talking to Scooble. To the Tigers about trading.
I'm just not gonna watch baseball.
Yeah, it's what. Sorry, don't worry. I have a Mets thing coming before we get out of here. Mike Brown, OG Anunoby. Knicks have been handing out defensive player of the game. OG Anunoby was defensive player of the game. Sure. I agree. OG Anunoby had some fantastic defensive plays in this game. A couple of blocks, some steals. How many blocks did he finish with?
Looked like Kawhi in Toronto.
He had 2 blocks, 2 steals. 2 blocks and 2 steals.
Felt like more.
OG looked slow when he came back in the Utah game, but Sunday he looked active. He was fantastic. Tonight he's looked active again. He got to be slow against Utah too.
He looks like he got his pop back.
Yeah, Steph had tweeted that out. Mike Brown on Josh Hart, who's another player we just talked about. I think this is very interesting. The comp he makes here. He reminds me of Andre Iguodala from the standpoint of if you don't understand basketball, you don't understand how good he is.
He's like their Draymond too, though.
There's certain players I say that about.
Josh Hart's one of them players.
Josh Hart's one. Draymond's an interesting one. Bam's
Scotty Barnes is like that.
Bam's
I think Scotty Barnes can be like that.
Scotty Barnes is like that. There's some players where like the coaches and the people who play basketball and know basketball will be higher on them than like the people on Twitter who just care about like just scoring.
We should also note that Mike Brown said Jalen bailed us out offensively in that first quarter. Yeah, he did, scoring 20 points, 20 of the 35 points.
About that from Q-Borough brother also. So
and I want to tell, Q-Borough brother, he made a comment here
about
in which he talks about Jalen Brunson, the captain, for achieving another milestone in Knicks history. And the milestone that he's talking about, Jalen Brunson with 35 points on 13-19 shooting. He tied Richie Guerin for number 3 in New York Knicks history with career 30-plus point games, 87. That is amazing. That
Richie Guerin?
Yeah, that he had 87 30-point-plus games. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Richie Guerin had 87 30-plus point games in 518 games. Would anybody like to guess how many games Jalen Brunson has played that he's got 87 30-plus point games?
185?
Nope.
Close?
A little higher than that.
Okay.
228?
Very close. 232 games. 232 games.
Damn, he's played a lot of Knicks games already. Damn, time flies.
The Knicks are also, just so want to know about the value, you talk about whether he's a floor raiser or not. The Knicks with Brunson
on. Did I say he's not a floor raiser?
No, you were questioning it. You were being shaky.
Did I ever say he's not a floor raiser?
You were being questioning. You were like, I don't know. What does he do? He doesn't get assists, so he doesn't uplift other people.
No, he's a floor raiser because the way he scores, but he doesn't make everybody better around him.
How does he not make people better?
He makes better, like in the way that Brandon Ingram makes everybody better, by scoring.
No. Jalen Brunson. See, that's like Drake and Nas. No. Sorry.
Drake and Nas is
our 3.
Yo, you act like Drake is like some nobody rapper or something. He's one of the greatest rappers to ever live.
Okay, there's a middle ground somewhere.
There's no ground here.
Between
Yo,
those
you guys are
The
disrespecting
Knicks are,
Drake
the
a
Knicks
little.
are
I will happily
he does it.
disrespect
He does
Drake.
it. He
I
does
don't
it.
give a
He
shit.
does it. He does it to himself. New York is 145-87 with Brunson on the floor. Here's the thing. This is a tweet from friend of the show, Ian Begley.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Begley's tweeting out all this stuff, and he says this is an opinion. This is Ian Begley's opinion.
He's more of an information guy than an opinion guy.
He
right?
is, but he gave an opinion in his tweet.
It was
He said,
15-0 Heat. By the
he
way.
said,
Shouts to Ian Begley.
don't take him for granted. Obviously, no player is above criticism game by game. This includes Brunson, but the two-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA, has raised the bar higher and higher for himself and his team since coming to New York. Will Brunson's Knicks teams ultimately win an NBA title? We'll find out in due time, but don't take for granted what you're seeing from Brunson as he and the organization pursue that goal.
Oh, I see what he's doing here, Ian Begley. I see what
Right,
you're
you're
doing.
gonna say
Begley.
trade value?
Trade value.
No.
Ian doesn't
Ian
care.
Begley.
Ian doesn't
Shouts
care.
to
Ian
Ian,
doesn't
man.
care.
Friend
Ian
of the
doesn't
show.
care. He's not trying to. Why
He
would he
cares.
for what? What does
He
he
doesn't-
care? To
he's-
do what? It doesn't benefit him.
Yeah,
He don't get no more money if Brunson gets traded.
he covers the Knicks. It's just he doesn't give a shit.
You out here making Ian look like he working for the team.
Shouts to Ian, man.
Shout
Love
out
you,
to
Ian.
Come on, man. I'm just saying.
By the way,
respect
should be 3-time All-Star because there was that one year where
Yes.
he really should have gotten into the All-Star game, and Randall did. Not that Randall didn't deserve it, but I thought if the Knicks were going to get one, it should have been Brunson. But front court was just easier to navigate through than the back court that year. But Brunson should be a 3-time All-Star.
Damn, Desmond dropped 37 after spiking OG in the back of the head.
I don't know. Nobody asking why he didn't throw a dodgeball at somebody tonight. How about that? Nobody asked him that.
He threw the dodgeballs into the rim. He got 37.
He did. That is true.
They were losing 15-0.
Yeah.
And outscored them 117-93
All right.
the rest of the way.
One last player I want to talk about before we get out of here, because I think we have to in this game, and I thought he was sort of an unsung hero off the bench. I thought Jordan Clarkson was tremendous. Tremendous bounce back game from him. 26 minutes. That was a high off the bench. No deuce. He gave you 12 points, 5 of 10
7-man
shooting.
rotation, Dex.
Yeah, 7-man rotation.
We're
Tibbs area.
Yeah, we're kind of back.
Wait, he really only played 7?
Well, I
Like,
mean, he technically played.
He played
technically
Kolek,
played
right?
8, so he played Kolek. Kolek only
I say
played 7.
That's why I say 7-man rotation. To me, rotation is
so
like,
wait, they only played 8 guys tonight.
Yep, 8
They
guys.
They played
8, but it's really.
They played 9.
Yeah, okay,
But
now that makes
Yabusele
sense.
and Kolek played 7 minutes each.
But that's still something.
like that's
but yeah.
barely a rotation spot. Like
Now-
But actually only playing 7 is diabolical, though. I thought like
No,
you
no,
were
no.
about to say that.
I think you're going to see closer to playoff like rotations and minutes in these games.
But even not in the cup games,
Yeah.
you've seen we talked about this with Bondi last week. You've seen the minutes kind of creep back up into Tibbs levels. And as Mike Brown is experimenting and trying to find solutions with the bench, and this isn't all because of injury. Like they have most of their team. So like, is that something that worries you? Let me ask you that, because the minutes, even tonight, 4 guys 36 plus. That's Tibbs like. With OG, Hart, Bridges, Brunson at 39. Cat had 31 because you had 16 for Mitchell Robinson because he's not doing double big anymore. He's made that clear. Jordan Clarkson 26, and then nobody else at 8 minutes plus.
You asked me if I'm concerned. My concern is
You saw Brunson getting into it with a fan, not to cut you
I
off.
did see that.
Yeah.
My concern is that I really trust Mike Brown's process of downloads information. I think what it says to me is I don't got enough guys I could trust. And when I don't have enough guys I could trust, we're going to need to go at reinforcements. And see, this is why I'm pro trading a Mitchell Robinson, because I think you can get a couple of pieces that makes your bench deeper and give you guys you can trust. It can also help you win playoff games if needed. Also, you need more. What I want in the playoffs is I want a roster with depth that has versatility so I can play different guys for different series.
I think you're attaching a pick to Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, you've been
because-
getting you've been on the hot takes lately. Clip that, man. Trade Mitchell Robinson.
That's
He
not a hot
he
take.
said it last week. I
I
do
did
think,
say it as a hot take.
different-
for sure.
I think
Here's the
that's
thing.
a really hot take to me because I think they need Mitchell
That's
Robinson.
amazing coming from you.
but here's
Yeah,
the
I think they need Mitch.
No, but yes, but the fact that they need him is what's worrisome, because can you depend on him long term? And he's also got an expiring contract, like just from a business standpoint. Because remember, the NBA is a business. NBA is
Yes.
a business
I think
first.
Mitch is a winning player.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't
but-
disagree with
But
that.
he's again, it's a lot of anxiety to rely on him. And you have 12, 13 million just sitting there. You know they're not going to re-sign him. Like,
I
I'd
don't
be
think they are.
very stunned if they
I
re-sign
think
him.
he knows that. His
Given
agent knows
all
that,
the
Knicks
money
know
that they're committed to, and that's why the agent wants to play it cool. Like, they want to play it safe because they want to get a contract for somewhere. So if you trade him somewhere, you know that the team trading for him is gonna want to extend him. You have to know that, or at a bare minimum, they're getting an asset just for taking him on because he's an expiring contract. Like, you're gonna attach something to him in order to get something back. And if you do that, I don't even know what the deal is, but I just pulled up the Pelicans contracts, and Kevon Looney and Jose Alvarado get you there, but you're guaranteed to throw in some draft compensation. They get you about there.
I do it in 2 seconds.
You're guaranteed.
Do
Me
it.
too. Me too, by the way.
I do.
Me too.
Kevon Looney, I've seen in a big time game change series with his rebounding too. Very good offensive rebound. Not quite as good as Mitchell Robinson.
What's the trade?
Kevon Looney
Yeah.
and Jose Alvarado for Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, but why would they do that?
Because they get an expiring contract.
You have no, they're not. They're only
get
doing
2 seconds.
draft compensation.
And the Pelicans are not going.
What draft compensation?
Here's
would
the
The
other
Knicks would have to attach 2 second-round picks.
The other problem is they have Yves Missi, Derek Queen, Zion. So it's like they're probably like, why are you paying Mitchell Robinson? But also you could look at it and be like, the Pelicans are kind of dumb and they're run in a silly way. And
So that's what we're banking on.
Also,
there's always one
Mitchell
sucker.
Robinson gets to go home. New Orleans. He's from Louisiana, boy. So they there you go with that. Also, want to say this.
Could be a 3-team trade too, where he goes somewhere
else.
Also. But that's the kind of combo.
I like the bold takes though, Dexter. That's a bold one.
That's the kind of combo you
I
want.
think it's a rational take.
That's the kind of combo.
I think if you're looking at building this
Well, it could
team,
be a hot take and rational.
it can be, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking at building this team, you got to have some more versatility.
I'm only doing a hot take if it's rational.
And so that's it. Look, Desmond, you talked about business before we get out of here. Desmond Bain, he said he's ready to, his shot at getting $500,000 in the NBA Cup. He said he just lost $35,000 for throwing the ball at OG Anunoby. He's like, I got to go get it back somehow. That man is focused to get his
So
money.
every player gets $500K?
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good for like the end of the bench guys. Too.
Yeah, it's huge for those guys.
Mitchell
That's huge.
Robinson, $12.9 million. Jose and Kevon Looney, $12.7.
I would do that trade, and I would do that trade easily tomorrow.
So
it fills two needs. I think it makes your bench stronger. Sure, do you take a little hit in the game-changing offensive rebound ability of Mitchell Robinson?
I don't think the Pelicans do it without like
a third team.
Yeah, or draft compensation. Like maybe Mitch goes to the third team, and then whatever the Pelicans get is whatever somebody else. But
I'm not giving him a first, but I give him 2 seconds.
If you can get Jose Alvarado and Kevon Looney, like that's the type of package that I would look at. So
Jose Alvarado would be a good
backup big, backup guard, and you can figure out if you need a backup wing later. But
yeah, you figure that stuff out later on the back end.
Yeah, that's the buyout guy.
Would you?
Or something like that.
Okay, if you got Jose Alvarado and Giannis, would you trade Brunson for that?
What? What do you mean?
How would you
like
get
3-team deal somehow?
A 3-team deal, you end up with Jose Alvarado and Giannis.
Okay, I
and
can't.
you got Brunson out of it.
Yeah.
No is the answer, but like
no.
How are the Pelicans getting involved? I guess they're going to need some sort of 13. No, but they're not.
Because I'm saying like a solid point guard and Giannis.
They're not trading Brunson. And Jose Alvarado's solid, but he's a backup.
And who started point guard for the Knicks?
Jose.
No, come on, man. I love Jose. Like, listen, the best player on the Puerto Rican national team because he actually plays on the national team and is really good when he plays, even though he almost broke his back in the America Cup this summer. But listen, he's backup point guard.
Not starting point guard. Yeah. But you're like, if you can get Giannis, why would you not do it?
Really, really good backup point guard, but backup point guard.
All right.
Is Twitter going crazy right now?
I don't know. They're going to come for you. They're going to tell you. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. They're going to come for you.
Shouts to Twitter, man.
Twitter was better years ago, but
it's X now, right?
We'll see. Andrew, man, we appreciate you coming through.
Of course.
Watching this Knicks Raptors live watch party.
Thanks for having
me. For the NBA Cup. You were 1-0 in the seat, which is good. Not everybody can say they're 1-0. Most people have been.
I bring that winning energy.
You bring that winning energy with the hot take energy. You didn't, you did well. You handled yourself well.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate
you, bro.
Thanks for
coming through.
Absolutely.
Check out Andrew. His show that he hosts, Combos Court, is a really good one. A lot of basketball takes, a lot of hip hop takes on there. He'll say some other crazy stuff like Drake is the best rapper of all time.
I didn't say that though. I said about Rushmore.
Who's the best rapper of all time to you?
Jadakiss.
He said,
"Oh yeah,
nobody raps better." I'll put it that way.
He said that's his take.
There's some people who feel that way.
That is fine. That is Bryan Fonseca. Check him out. We'll be back here again on Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Hopefully, we'll also have some other stuff for you before then. Maybe another live preview. We have some more stuff coming up this week. We will let you know all about that. For Andrew Salop, Bryan Fonseca, I'm Dexter Henry. We'll catch you next time. Also, thank you to everybody in the chat and our staff who did a wonderful job here tonight. Thank you again, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Another edition of New York Got Game. Peace.
And thanks for watching New York Got Game. Boom shakalaka.